Hi everyone. Actually, this time let's talk about one topic about the Wuhan Diary, written by a writer named Fang, from China. Actually, this Wuhan Diary recorded about more than 60 days. Every day the event, Fang, when the Wuhan is in the lockdown status, and she was there, staying home, and got some information from the network, from the WeChat, from the online. We have a lot of blogs, so they get some information from them, and then she did some evaluation and some comments from her own article. Actually, I'm a guy working in Europe. Basically, I don't have any profit. I don't have any interest on that. I don't want to earn any money. I don't want to, have any intention for my own interest, to have this kind of speaking, to be honest. So I just want to share my objective view that for this Wuhan Diary, my own comment. Since actually for that 2 months, I was also in that Hubei province, because for that 2 months, all the Hubei province from China, this province has been in lockdown status, the same as Wuhan city. I can share my own comment about the Wuhan Diary, actually. Okay, basically, from the beginning, I do that, I praise this Wuhan Diary because I read about every article from it very carefully. I do appreciate that this kind of writer, Fang, they has his own feeling that they have a human, companion. They really, they can feel the sadness people. For example, the neighbors or their friends or the Wuhan city, some people, they are, affected from the COVID-19. And then died, or maybe some like this kind of news. Also including the visitor, Li Wenliang, this doctor. Okay, but currently, today I got the news that this two type of this Wuhan Diary, original is a Chinese, with written in Chinese character, and currently have been translated into English and Germany, and already, published in the Amazing, and sold with some money. Basically, after this Wuhan Diary to be published within China mainland, actually there have been two aspects of comments about this diary. The first aspect is about the appreciation that this writer, she, as an individual, she can feel the sadness of others. We do appreciate that because this is a kind of a human thinking. It stands that you are human. And the other hand is that a lot of people criticized Fang because in this Wuhan Diary, it is very, very one-handed. It's just showing the darkness of the Wuhan, of the whole, COVID-19, this containment, from China government, from Chinese people. They just showing this darkness, but she didn't, or she never showed the, the powerful, the sunshine, the shining points, that how did the Chinese people and how did the Chinese government, united together to contain this COVID-19? This is the, criticizing point, from the Chinese people. Okay, actually, I have as a person that I have been experiencing this COVID-19 in Hubei province for that 2 months. I can say that, it was true that at that time, a lot of rumors, a lot of news, a lot of information is, flying on the network, is really. But Fang, this Wuhan Diary just recorded this kind of rumors or this flying information on the network according to her own judgment. I think I have to say, this is not a complete view, basically. For example, at that time, as I stay in Hubei province, every day I can hear the bad news that, scaring myself about COVID-19. There's one saying that if you catch this COVID-19, most probably it can be your hairs can be completely damaged, and you're just waiting to die. For example, this kind of scary information. Also about Li Wenliang, at that time, I was staying home in the lockdown. Also Li Wenliang, the doctor, when Dr. Li Wenliang died at that time, we do feel sad, actually, as a visitor at that time. Also in our friends, we have the WeChat. We can share all the information, share our own comment in WeChat. That is our friends circles, friend circles, that is on the WeChat. And we can say that a lot of my classmates, a lot of my colleagues, we are staying that level. A lot of people that have been in postgraduate, have been well educated. They are showing quite a deep sadness, also quite a deep doubt, and quite a deep, furious about how that we can let Dr. Li Wenliang that die, because we regard Li Wenliang as a hero that he visited in the darkness and remind everyone that be careful. But why? Finally, he died in the slow wind, in the slow storm. This is how, to be honest, at that time also there were a lot of people suspecting that, oh my God, this world is darkness, is helpless. This world is just go to here. We want to destroy this world like this. At that very, very extremely dark and sad time, everyone, someone can have this kind of emotion, to be honest. Okay. And then, after that time, actually we read about a lot of information discovered later. We can say that, Dr. Li Wenliang, he's younger than me, maybe 2 years old. Just 1 year old, just 1 year older, just 1 year younger than me. Actually, we are from the same age. We can say also he's from the Wuhan University. We have been spent the same time, maybe the same 5 or 6 years in Wuhan city. When in our colleague life, when we were staying in the colleague, learning everything and trying to find a job. We can feel that we are in the same age, we are in the same emotion. Every Chinese people at that time, for the first time, when the doctor found that there's a suspected, coronavirus, and this is some sickly seeker, and they found they have found some suspected case, and the doctor, just spread this information in their WeChat group, just like the WhatsApp group, they spread this information and reminding their colleagues, reminding everyone that just be careful and you have to protect yourself as a doctor, because maybe there's one suspected SARS already appearing in Wuhan. I can see that if I were him, I would also spread this kind of information to remind my family, to remind my friends, just to protect themselves. But I have to say that, this kind of information, even everyone, every Chinese, if he got this information, he can publish, he can spread everywhere. But, he can spread to his family, can spread to his, classmates group. But he didn't should publish this information as open-wise. For example, he didn't publish this information on the TV or on the radio or something. So basically, this is a common small business for every Chinese that can be done from our age, to be honest. If you think he was a visitor, actually somehow I don't agree with on this part, because visitor is what? Visitor means that someone stopped you, someone wants to cover something and make, just like the Captain Crozier, the government, American government, from the they don't want to uncover this kind of information, and Captain Crozier then intends to save his soldiers, his mates. Then he is a visitor, really, because he published this kind of information to the open media, to the newspaper, asked the media to help him. He is a real visitor. But Dr. Li Wenliang, I don't think he is a real visitor, because nobody stopped him, to publish this information to the public. All right. But the only way, is what make us feel sad is that, the police station gave a criticization to him, with the letter, with the content. Though, this content is very, I read that content, I do feel not good. That, if I was staying in that kind of position, I will still also feel furious about the policeman. Why you can, accuse me? Why you can criticize me like that? This is insulting. But anyway, as a government governing the society, you can say that the Chinese government didn't do any punishment, didn't do any real punishment on Dr. Li Wenliang. Unlike the Captain Crozier, the U.S. government, dismissed him. Maybe he in the future will have to accept the judgment from the judge. This is very, very ridiculous, And still, Li Wenliang has been still staying on his position and as a doctor, working fine. And also, Li Wenliang is a CPC member, the same as me. Actually, as a CPC member, we have the intention that to work for others if some crisis came or some hurt is coming to our people. So we do think that this kind of Wuhan Diary is very, very, it's just a single, very simple, very little view to say, to comment on this Wuhan, this kind of COVID-19 crisis. To have a complete, view to the best effort that what we have done, then this is not enough, to be honest. I think now Wuhan Diary, this kind of information, that has been translated into English and Germany, and want to spread in the Western society. The only way is that the politician wants to, shift the focus point to others. Just want to sharing the responsibility that what they have done, in the past several months. Because currently, the COVID-19 has been, in pandemic. Because these politicians just wasted these 2 months, wasted so much time to organize this containment. So now it's too late. But now I think our focus point, our target, our purpose is to move forward, is to focus, to unite it together, to make this COVID-19 disappear, to slow the spread and contain this COVID-19. So as a human right, the most important human right is to make us live. Of course, if only with lives that we can still go on talking about other freedom, like here's everything else. That is the most important part, is for your living your lives. Okay, so let's unite it together. Let's move forward. Don't be played by those politicians, those capitalism. Politicians only care about their own interest. Politicians only care their own profit. They never care about our lives. Okay, thank you.